I know, my hair's a mess. Please, excuse it. Okay, so I'm back. I don't know if I'm getting sick or if my voice is just hoarse from constantly talking at work, but point is, my voice is a little weird right now. So, it's been a while since I've done a video, and that is because, if you didn't see my tweet, I've been dealing with a lot of stuff lately, okay? So, I did like a quick, short, little itty-bitty, just like, here's my rating review for The Nun on Twitter. So you can go and follow my Twitter so you can see that. But I am back. I'm here again to do another movie review, and this time it is for the... I don't know if it's highly anticipated. I don't think it was highly anticipated. It wasn't very well advertised personally, I found. It was just kind of there. It was more advertised on like social media platforms than it was on the TV or in like other movies, trailers and everything like that. So I feel like anticipated, but not highly anticipated. Anyways, I'm reviewing A Simple Favor.
Quand j'étais petite, je me taisais comme une fleur.
Now I will say there are no spoilers in this. Don't worry, you can watch this whole thing without anything being spoiled. So director Paul Fieg returns with another great movie, this time starring Anna Kendrick as Stephanie and Blake Lively as Emily. So if you don't know what this movie is about, Stephanie, who is Anna Kendrick, she is a mommy vlogger, and she just basically does this. She does her own version of like YouTube, but talking to other moms and basically telling them child life hacks and how to get them to eat healthier, or how to like just basically giving them like different recipes and different ways to like cure like rashes or chickenpox. Basically she's just a well of knowledge, and she ends up meeting this woman through her son, who she goes to pick up at school, and as they're leaving, Blake Lively's character Emily shows up to come and get her son, and they just start hanging out, get to know each other, become best friends, and then Emily asks her for a favor.
I do need just a simple favor.
She does this favor, but Emily's all of a sudden just gone. So now the rest of the movie is Stephanie trying to figure out where Emily went, what happened to her, how did it happen, and it's just like, here's the story, and then it goes so it's kind of everywhere. You basically want to make sure you have like no liquids in your system or a really strong bladder, because you leave, you miss something, you're gonna miss the whole movie. So the genre of the movie isn't just one genre, it's actually three. There's a mystery going on, there's some drama happening, and it's also a bit comedic. And it's not your typical, oh, here's the punchline, everyone laugh kind of comedy. It's done in a way where the characters don't think they're being funny, and they just come off as funny because of the circumstances and the scenarios that are happening, and the way that these characters overreact isn't very believable, but at the same time it kind of is. And you're watching it, and it's just, you can relate to these characters, but at the same time you're like, okay, well, if I was in this situation, I probably wouldn't do it this way, I would do it this way instead. So you laugh because it's just so over the top, it's so just out there, and just the way that they say things or do things or how they act and the scenarios that they get themselves in is just so ridiculous that it's kind of funny. So as I said, the performances of these characters were so over the top at some points. It didn't actually even take away from the film. In fact, I found that it added to the film just because of the situations that they got themselves into. You were almost expecting them to be like breaking character and just laughing because it's just so unbelievable how things were happening. And the fact that they didn't and just stuck true to their character was awesome. I found Anna Kendrick did a superb job. Blake Lively was wonderful in this. And, like, obviously, like, they were the main characters. There was a third main character. We don't really care about him. He was only in Crazy Rich Asians and then this movie. It's only his second movie. He did a really good job in it. But I couldn't really care less about his character. I just found he was just kind of there. He did bring parts to the storyline, as he should have. But I found even his performance was outshined by the two kids in the movie because hilarious. Like, just their dynamic with each other, and then there's, like, the one who's, this kid.
She told me to say hi to Stephanie.
His interaction with the adults in this movie just is so hilarious. You can't help but literally laugh out loud. I found every performance added to this film and did not take away in any way at all. And it was wonderful. So the plot of the film is very easy to follow. As I told you before, Stephanie becomes friends with Emily. Emily asks for a favor. Emily goes missing. Stephanie tries to figure out what happened to her. That's the plot. There are twists and turns, not huge ones. Some you can kind of see coming, some you should have seen coming, and some maybe you don't see coming. But it's very easy to follow, although at some points where you think you know something, something happens that makes you rethink that thought, and then you have to kind of like regroup your thoughts altogether and then move on. So you may not understand one point, and then you get to another point, so now you have two unexplained, and then the third point that shows up is like a new one, but then this one gets solved because of this one, and then a fourth one shows up which solves this one, but then uncovers this one, so now you have three again. It's everywhere, but it's together, if that makes sense. It works well as it works against each other, and that makes sense because it is a mystery and you are trying to solve what's happened to Emily alongside of Stephanie's character. As you're watching this, you're seeing it all from Stephanie's perspective, so you're trying to figure everything else out as well. That is what I like. I love the movies that also get their audiences involved in trying to figure out what happened to these characters and how did they get from this point to this point. And I love that about this film because it does bring the audience into the movie as an extra character. So, as I said, there are no spoilers. This is not a spoiler. It's talking about the ending of the movie, but it's not revealing anything about the ending. So don't worry, I'm staying true to my word of no spoilers. I promise. The only thing that I'm going to say about the ending is the fact that I personally did not really care too much for it, just because I found it was kind of like a cop-out. Now, what I've seen in past movies were either a black screen with text and then it shows a video clip of characters doing things. Or there's times where, for example, in The Conjuring, at the beginning even, they had like a freeze frame of Ed and Lorraine and they had text explaining what was happening. They've done that at the end of other things where it shows like a little video clip and it freezes, or just a picture and it shows words of, oh, well, Susie is now baking all across Europe and traveling and meeting a guy and getting married 3 years later. I don't know. But this movie decides not to do that and in fact just have a blank screen with white text saying, oh, this character's doing this, this character's doing this, this character's doing this. And I found that was very much like a cop-out, like you didn't want to film anymore, so you just wrote words. I think I would have enjoyed the ending a lot more if they showed like a video clip or a picture of these characters. And I keep saying characters because I'm not going to reveal who they're talking about. So you'll have to see the movie to find out what I mean. So although virtually loving every single aspect of this movie, I will say, as I said before, there are some situations in this film where you see the characters act a certain way, and they're, like, in real life you would think they shouldn't act this way, they should act this way instead because it's not very realistic. But again, that being said, it does work for the film because it's such an over-the-top film. It works in that situation. There were also times where things happened that weren't alluded to earlier in the movie. Like, if someone were to say, go to buy a dog. And then eventually, like, families talking about a dog, they buy a dog by the end of the movie. Okay, they led up to it. But then in this movie, no one mentions the dog at all, and then at the end of the movie, oh, this person has a dog. Where did this dog come from? There was no lead up, there was no mention of this dog ever existing, no one wanted a dog, no one was talking about a dog. Why is the dog here? There's no dog in the movie that I can remember. I'm using dog as an example, okay? So don't come at me, I'm not spoiling anything, I promise. But that was my only about it. Other than that, my rating for A Simple Favor is an A-. Go out, go watch it, bring your friends, go watch it 12 times. I want to go see it again. Unfortunately, I have to work today. Not at the school, at a grocery store. Yay me. So, yeah. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, follow my social media. I will hopefully see you next week if my life doesn't go into a crisis again and I actually have money in order to afford movies to go and give you these reviews. And if not, well, I'll see you when I make another video of some sort. Also, side note, I want to know as well down below what you guys want to see on my second channel, the Gayme Paradox with Ryan. Can you shush? I'm trying to talk. He's laying down on the floor. He was on the quiet couch. Now he's on the hardwood floor. Yeah, so leave some ideas down below what you guys want to see Ryan and I do on our second channel. We've just come up with a schedule that we're going to film on a certain day, edit it on another day, and post it by another day. So we want to know some of your ideas, what you want to see us do, what you're interested in us creating, because we're here for you and you're here for us, and if you're here for us, we want to do what you want us to do. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.
My life is a party, my home is the club.